Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about flowcharts. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, hi Frederick, I started to learn about scalability in different design patterns. I've seen engineers and developers map out the features that an app will have with flowcharts. I was wondering if it is possible if you could show us how to go about doing that, please. So I will be the first person to tell you that don't waste your time on this unless you plan on being either a public speaker or an architect, and not necessarily a very good one. The reason why I say this, guys, is because everybody has their own style when it comes to symbolizing, like kind of giving a visual representation of their system, and it is extraordinarily rare that it is something that an average software developer will do. It really is. Like, it's something where you can literally go now and you can just search for like flowchart models or something. Like, there's no standard that everybody follows, and nobody's gonna well, maybe there might be some truly conservative company out there in the wild who really look at this sort of stuff and care about, like, I don't know. That's because one concrete thing I could give you is to say UML charts. And sure, you can do that, and you can represent like your different classes and inheritance and relationships and like all of this sort of stuff, right? It's absolutely fine to do that, but honestly, guys, after working for a few years now, and not just like at both very small companies and very large companies, and with like some of the most conservative companies as well, I can tell you that the norm is that everybody does their own thing. Like, you don't have to worry about that. You can literally go now and like use, I don't know, Draw.io or some like Google Shapes or whatever it's called, draw some boxes and represent the system that way. Because the thing is, like, the representation of the system, it might be at different levels. Like, you might have one, like a call diagram for like network calls if you want to represent the interactions between several systems, and you can Google that very quickly and see that there's no standard. It's literally like boxes, lines, and dotted lines, depending on like, and arrows just showing sort of how things go. And I've made a few of these in my day now, and it really, like, every single time is a little bit different, and it doesn't really matter, because what you're trying to do here is to communicate how the system is going to work to someone who just wants a visual representation of how that looks. And if you achieve that, you're fine. You don't really have to worry about it. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn about it, because it is sort of useful. I just suppose I'll just tell you as it is. From my personal experience, you can go the rest of your career without knowing what a UML diagram is, or like how to make one. Because, as I said, the only people who actually do it are even the architects that I've worked with have never done it, or never like presented anything like it. There are situations when this is still like relevant, and there are documentation and systems and so forth that may still use it, but for the most part it is like a almost dead practice to be like really die hard on how to do this sort of thing. It really is. I can only say that much. I don't think you should spend all that much time on learning something. Just do the thing that I would do for the same sort of thing I would do for, say, Scrum, or learning how to work with Agile. Literally do this thing, and it will take you an afternoon. Go through one introduction, or maybe two, something like that, a crash course to UML diagrams, or just Google a few articles, spend an afternoon reading about it, so you kind of know, you can understand some basics, understand some of this like the standard concept. And if you're an architect, or you're aspiring to be a public speaker or something like that, go and look at all of their presentations for inspiration, because there's like no hard rules for how to visually represent the system. So what I want you to take away from this is that I can absolutely show you how I make a diagram, but I don't think that's going to make a very interesting tutorial now, honestly, because literally everybody does it their own way. And if you look at the different, well, the different tech talks, you're going to notice that. So what I suggest to you is spend an afternoon learning about it. Don't really have to spend more time on it than that. It's the same thing with Scrum or Agile or these kind of joke like things that, well, some people make it an entire profession. That's beyond me, because literally anybody can do it with some basic understanding of how IT works. And this is the same sort of thing. If you understand, if you just go and get some inspiration from some blogs, you're gonna be fine. And if you need to do a deep dive, sure, go for it. But I promise you, it's highly unlikely that you're gonna need it, even if you happen to be an architect or a public speaker. Have a great day.